चैतन्यमयी सत्यमयी परमे आनंदमयी चैतन्यमयी सत्यमयी परमे आनंदमयी चैतन्यमयी सत्यमयी परमे ॐ नमो भगवते श्रीमातारविन्दाय नमः। Jai Ma, Namaste to one and all. Today's topic is opening to the mother. We have been constantly hearing this word. Always connect yourself to the mother, open to the mother, and have true relation with the Divine Mother, open to her force. We have been listening all this. Today we will get to know what does it exactly mean. We will begin with a small story whereby when the mother was in her body in the ashram, after Sri Aurobindo left his body in 1950, probably maybe in 1957 I think, one lady came from abroad to the ashram when the mother was in her physical body. And in fact, she just wanted to know the technique as to how she has to get herself connected to the integral yoga. Then whomever she was asking, there the ashramites were keep on saying, open yourself to the mother, open to her force, connect yourself to her. Then she was completely frustrated because she wanted a particular methodology as to how one should connect oneself. Ultimately later she realized that was all there was in the ashram. Adokate mantra. Through connecting yourself to the mother, you can connect yourself with the integral yoga of Sri Aurobindo. Then she realized that that was all there was. Open to her force. Then a question may arise, what is that we should open? Shall we open to the image of the mother or her energy? What exactly it is meant? Just now we have chanted this mantra. This mantra is given by Sri Aurobindo. Om Anandamayi Chaitanyamayi Satyamayi Parame, which means she, the Divine Mother, is Ananda. She is the joy. She is Chaitanyamayi. She is the absolute consciousness, Chaitanya. And Satyamayi means she is truth. Parame, which means almighty, which is unbreakable, supreme truth. So therefore, that part of the being we should open ourselves. That is connecting to that kind of ananda, open to that consciousness, open to that joy, open to that consciousness, open to that truth, and that supreme truth is all about. In fact, Nirodha, all of us know Nirodha. Nirodha in fact asked Sri Aurobindo, Sri Aurobindo, we don't have much time in this life because we know Sri Aurobindo has written Life Divine, Synthesis of Yoga, Essays on the Gita, Human Cycle, Savitri, many more. Renaissance in India, Foundations of Indian Culture, many books. Then Nirodha asks Sri Aurobindo, Sri Aurobindo, we don't have, in this life itself, we don't have much time to read all these books and understand, assimilate and synthesize, digest all those things. Forget about digestion, all these things. Even for reading, one life is not at all enough to read all these books. Please, since we don't have much time to read all these things of your books, please tell me what is the central secret of your yoga. This was a question that was put to Sri Aurobindo. Then Sri Aurobindo says, there are two things. If you feel that you don't have much time to read all these syntheses, essays on the Gita, all these life secrets of Veda, and all these books, then Sri Aurobindo says that there are two things so that you can get yourself connected to this integral yoga. The number one secret, this is central secrets of yoga, Sri Aurobindo says to Nirodha. Number one, Sri Aurobindo says, remain psychically open to the mother. That's number one secret central of yoga. Then the number two is aspire for a divine life. These two things are, Sri Aurobindo says to Nirodha, the central secrets of yoga. So therefore Sri Aurobindo himself says that the central secret of his yoga is the first one is remain psychically open yourself to the mother's force, mother's consciousness, so that you can directly get yourself connected to this integral yoga. And mother also says that mother is with all those who are sincere in their aspiration towards a divine life. We know that the definition that has been given by the mother for sincerity, though it looks very simple, sincerity, I am very sincere in approaching, no. Though the word looks very simple, but to become very sincere is a very tough job, because the sincerity, true sincerity means is exclusively self-opening to the divine and the mother's force. It's not very easy because we are completely occupied and preoccupied with many other things with us. Unless and until we go on discarding all those things and make our platform ready, this Deham, it's very difficult. So therefore an effort has to be made to become very, very sincere in aspiring for the divine life, so that our force, our grace completely descends into our being. Because mother also says that I am with you. Mother says that I am with you because I am you. So we should make ourselves ready, because my mother herself says that I am with you always and I am you. Now it's completely left to all of us as to how we should behave and how we should regulate our conduct, behavior, everything to make a good platform for the Divine Mother to pour her complete energy and grace upon all of us. Then Sadhak asks questions, because this proceeds based upon some question that were put to the Divine Mother and also Sri Aurobindo, and the answers given by both of them. And this specific question was put to Divine Mother, and he says, Divine Mother, I wish to get light on the following points. This question he puts to the Divine Mother. He asks, have I the capacity and or there potentialities in me to follow this path? నా దగ్గర అంటే అంత శక్తి ఉందా, నా ఎనర్జీ ఉందా, అంతగా కెపాసిటీ ఉందా, నా పొటెన్షియాలిటీస్ ఉందా in me to follow this path? This question was put. Then answer given by the mother. This is not the question. The question is whether you have the necessary aspiration, determination and perseverance, and whether you can, by the intensity and persistence of your aspiration, make all the parts of your being answer to the call and become one in the consecration. The question should be that whether you have the question should not be that whether you have the capacity or potentiality. Mother says that should not be the question. Mother says that the question should be whether you have the necessary aspiration, determination and perseverance. And the pattudalato, determination to, perseverance to, and with that intensity and persistence of your aspiration, make all the parts of your being answer to the call. That should be the question, the mother says. That means the constant aspiration should be there. అంటే దేవుడి గురించి, ఆ మదర్ ఫోర్స్ గురించి, మదర్స్ కాన్షియస్నెస్ టు బి కంప్లీట్లీ embraced in all of us, that kind of a aspiration should be there. We know one example, because Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was asked once, I just want to see Kali. We all of us know that Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is an ardent devotee of Kali. He's a priest of Kali in the temple. He was asked, I just want to see the God, because have you seen the God? I want to see the God. He doesn't say anything. Sri Ramakrishna doesn't saying that you'll be able to realize if you read this book or do 24/7 worship or pranayam. He simply tells that person, whoever asked that question, he tells that person to come near the Ganges, and he catches hold of him and drowns him in the river there. And that man was gasping for the breath to come out, because మనం నీళ్ళల్లో ఉంటే ఆ శ్వాసకి తహతహలు ఆడతాం కదా, చూసారా ఎంత తహతహలు ఆడతాం, ఎప్పుడు బయటకు వస్తానా అని ఉంటుంది మనకి. We gasp for breath when we are inside the water. Then immediately he takes him out of the water and then tells him. This is by way of an example. This is by way of an example. He tells that sadhak, that devotee, saying that, see, while you are drowning, you are gasping for breath a lot. If you do such kind of an aspiration to see the Lord Kali, with that kind of a gasping for breath while you are in drowning water, like that if you gasp for seeing the Lord Kali, then you will be able to see. That kind of aspiration should be there. Then not only this, that we should have faith also that everything goes well. There should be 4 types of faith we should have. Number 1, faith in Guru. Number 2, faith in God. Number 3, faith in Shastras. Number 4, not only all these, faith in oneself also. నేను చేయగలను, ఒక విశ్వాసం, ఒక పట్టుదల, ఒక దృఢత్వం, దట్ ఐ కెన్ డూ, దట్ ఫెయిత్ ఇన్ గురు, ఫెయిత్ ఇన్ గాడ్, ఫెయిత్ ఇన్ శాస్త్రాస్, ఫెయిత్ ఇన్ వన్ సెల్ఫ్. శాస్త్రాస్ మనకు అందరికి శాస్త్రాస్, రామాయణ మహాభారతాలు, ఆఫ్ కోర్స్ దే ఆర్ ఆల్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ us. Not only that, we should have a beautiful shastras for our Sri Aurobindo-ians. All these are shastras for us. Synthesis, essays on the Gita, secrets of Veda, all these are all shastras for us. So we should have a complete faith in all of them and read by spending at least some time daily and get ourselves connected to that what the consciousness of Sri Aurobindo through that books. And I just recollect one anecdote where we know Aurobindo, one of the closest disciples of Sri Aurobindo and the mother. He is an aeronautical engineering from London University, and after seeing darshan of Mother, Lord and Sri Aurobindo, he just settled down along with his wife Mona there himself, and he was very instrumental in that raising Golconda in one of the ashram archaeology. There, in fact, Sri Aurobindo gives his name as Udar. తెలుగులో మనం ఉదార స్వభావం అంటాం, చూసారా? ఉదార స్వభావం అంటే ఏంటంటే జనరస్. Why he is also generous is because whatever the money that he has already accumulated and brought, and wealth, everything that bought from foreign country, he has completely gave it and surrendered at the lotus feet of the Divine Mother. Everything. And he was instrumental in that, raising that Golconda fort. Golconda, I'm sorry, not fort. Then there was some dearth of funds. Then he asked the mother, I need at least, because whatever I was having, that all the money I just gave it to you. I just need 2 lakhs for further work to be done in Golconda. Why the Golconda also I just recollect, because the Nizam government in Hyderabad in fact also offered money for construction of Golconda at ashram in Pondicherry. So therefore it was named as a Golconda. So then Aurobindo asked mother, I needed 2 lakhs, I need 2 lakhs for further work to be carried on for work in the Golconda. The mother says, wait, mother goes into her room and comes back with 1 rupee and gives it to him. Here are 2 lakhs and where is 1 rupee? But he accepts with so much of gladness and with so much of blessing. Because if the mother had given 2 lakhs, the 2 lakhs would have done the work. There could not have been any involvement of that Aurobindo into this, because he took it as a challenge. Mother gave 1 rupee, because mother giving a 1 rupee itself is the greatest blessing. Later he realized that the mother gave that 1 rupee with her force, and he continued the work, and ultimately the funds flown and he completed the work with so much of faith in the mother. This is one of why I said is this with by keeping that kind of a faith in the mother and the trust in the Divine Mother that everything goes well, he just proceeded and everything went well. And we know that the faith is the surest guide in the darkest days. And in fact, from time to time, we know that all the seniors are that Surendranath Jawharji, because Taradit's father, when he was with the mother, he was also having and confronting with many difficulties while doing yoga, and they were continuously, having insightful conversations with the mother. and used to get many clues and guidance, and the Divine Mother answering all their doubts, queries and challenges in their sadhana. And the second, this is in relation to the first question. The second question is, how should I continue my practice, that is sadhana, after returning home? Answer: quieten yourself, and in the quietness see and feel the Mother. Mother says, it is those who are strong and powerful are always very calm. It is the weak who are always restless. True calmness is always the sign of forcefulness. అందుకే మనకు తెలుసు కదండి, in peace and silence the eternal manifests. Allow nothing to disturb you, the eternal will manifest. The beautiful line in Savitri 2, in absolute silence sleeps an absolute power. Therefore, with so much of quietness, quietening oneself, one should feel the presence of the Divine Mother deep within the heart, or her image. The another question is, how can I meditate? What is meant by opening? Where should I open? Answer: an inner purity and receptivity that freely lets in the Mother's influence. Begin with the heart, Mother says. Hridaya bhaganlo, just feeling the Divine Mother's help, feeling the Divine Mother's presence helps. Another question: I aspire for the higher life from the above head, but I always feel strained in the middle of the forehead. What should I do? Mother simply says, do not strain yourself. Another question: how does the psychic being open? How to understand the psychic and vital beings in the Adhara? Answer: by the force of aspiration and the grace of the Mother. Psychic, Mother says, your true being, the being that is in the heart, and that is the spark of the Mother's own consciousness. So therefore we should ourselves constantly open to that Mother's consciousness, that divine spark within the heart. And we know that once we are surrounded by that grace, it creates many miracles. It completely really makes us to sanctify our life. We know Mukam karoti vachalam pangum lam ghayate girim yat krupa tamaham vande paramananda madhavam. Which means this grace will help a person who is dumb. It will help him to speak. Mukam, maunanga unnavallu, maatladalenu, dumb, he is completely dumb. But that grace has that power that he will make that person to speak. Pangumlam ghayate girim. Giri ante telisinde kada manakandariki. It's a mountain. A person who is completely limping, it will make that person to climb the mountain. Pangumlam ghayate girim yat krupa tamaham vande. Yat krupa, Bhagavantudi krupa anta powerful. Such is the greatness and power of the grace of the Lord. And in last of the talks also we have also it has come across that the power, the grace has a power to annihilate all past karmas. Because I know by person was given an opportunity to wash the dhoti of Lord Sri Aurobindo, and with the act of one act of washing the dhoti of Sri Aurobindo said, your all past karmas have been annihilated. in the law of karma, I just shared with all of you. The other question, what attitude should I keep while doing my works of daily routine? Because happens, and it happens because in every activities it becomes impossible for us to constantly remember the Divine Mother. It happens. Routine lo padipotam. So then the question is in relation to that. What attitude should I keep while doing my works of daily routine? How should I act with family members, relatives and friends? The answer is detachment. Again, there is a beautiful sloka in Isha Upanishad. Isha vasyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitaha magrudak kasya svidhanam. This whole world is for the habitation of the Lord. In all the worlds and the worlds within, there is a divinity. Tena tyaktena bhunjita. You enjoy whatever is given to you, you just enjoy it while renouncing it. That means don't get yourself attached to it. Because we all of us are living in a borrowed time. This life, this time, all these circumstances have been lent to us by the Lord. We are making all those things of our own. That's how the disputes are being cropped up. We are making whatever the Lord that is giving all of these things to us, we are thinking, though it all belongs to the divine, we are making all of them as our own. And we are developing so much of attachment. And then expectations. When they don't meet manaka expectations, when we are into that kind of an attachment, then it leads to misery. It leads to misery. So therefore, don't develop that kind of a attachment. You just enjoy it. Whatever the Lord has given it to you, just enjoy it while renouncing it. And do not covet one's wealth. If it doesn't belong to you, don't steal someone's wealth. Ade last part ade. Tena tyaktena bhunjita magrudak kasya svidhanam, which means don't steal someone's health, someone's wealth. If it does not belong to you, don't take it. So therefore, enjoy while renouncing it. Don't get yourself attached, because everything that has been given by the Lord. Because today the most beautiful woman on earth also, or one day or the other, they will age. Like a person who is having a lot of muscle strength today, so much of biceps, he is going to lose his energy. Because all this was lent by the Lord to us. It's being taken away. Therefore, just enjoy it while it was given to you. But don't get yourself attached to it. Why should we remember this? Everything is Mother's grace only. Like like a sunflower, we know that always turns towards light. Alaga, our being, without reserving anything or any part of our being, we should turn our entire being towards that kind of a grace of the Lord, that kind of Mother's consciousness. The another question is, what should I read at present? The mother says, we are in those books. Another question, how to open to the mother? Are the following means? How to open to the mother? Are the following means? He asks, to remember you constantly or from time to time? He asks whether to remember you constantly from time to time? Mother says good. Another means he says, by taking your name through japa, mother says helpful. అందుకే మన చక్కటి నామజప ఉంది. ఓం మా శ్రీ అరవిందో, ఓం నమో భగవతే, ఓం ఆనందమయి చైతన్యమయి సత్యమయి పరమే. ఆర్ సింపుల్ వర్డ్ మా 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 మా. This is నామజప. Mother says this is helpful to open yourself to my consciousness, mother says. The another means he says, with the help of meditation, mother says, mother's answer is this: more difficult if one has not the habit of meditation. Then another means he says, by conversation about you with those who love you and respect you. Risky, because when talking, often nonsense or at least some useless things can be said. Means mother, we can understand that the mother is not approved that gossiping. Mother says that risky because when talking, often nonsense or at least some useless things can be said. అందుకే అంటారు కదా, ఈవెన్ 1 or 2 persons wherever they are. See, ashram is not no more in a geographical limits to Pondicherry. Wherever, because 2 or 3 persons are sitting together and reading some book and discussing about the mother, discussing about Savitri, or lofty thoughts, noble thoughts, connecting to the mother, connecting to the Sri Aurobindo, discussing something from the essays on the Gita, or anything. It is an ashram. 2 or 3 persons coming closer. It's an ashram. It's no more completely confined in a geographical limits. Then another means he says, by reading your books, mother says good. Another means, by spending time in thoughts of you, very good, mother says. Then by sincere prayers, good. అందుకనే this constant, ఎందుకంటే this is the demand of Mahalakshmi. We know the mother book, there shall be harmony and beauty. Not only thoughts means that's not enough. The harmony and beauty between thoughts and feelings, harmony and beauty between mind and soul, harmony and beauty between every outward act and movement, harmony and beauty between life and surroundings. All these things should be at a kind of a alignment. It is always the inner life, inner divine life, inner beauty that we go on developing with constant touch with the mother's force and consciousness. That has to be spread out. It is not the outer that must influence the inner. No, it is always the inner divine life, inner beauty, harmony. All those things should spread out and embrace the outer life. Then the life become divine life. Then for this, because then always spending thoughts in Sri Aurobindo and the mother, I just recollect again Aurobindo, when Sri Aurobindo was about to leave his body. At that point of time, Sri Aurobindo was in coma, and there was oxygen tanks were also kept, and Sri Aurobindo was in coma. And at that point of time, just maybe a few hours before Sri Aurobindo left his body, and Aurobindo was there. Have we really, the general question is, have we heard from anyone saying that a person who is in coma, did we see that person talking? A big no. A person who is in coma, obviously he doesn't speak. This Aurobindo observed that Sri Aurobindo, despite he was in coma, just before few hours leaving his body, and this Aurobindo, who was just close by Sri Aurobindo, Observe that Sri Aurobindo just opened his eyes and asked Nirodha, what is the time now? Out of coma, Sri Aurobindo asked Nirodha, what is the time now? And Nirodha replies, sir, it is 1 o'clock. Then again Sri Aurobindo responds, oh, I see. And again goes back to coma. So those disciples really, Aurobindo and all those things, were always constantly, living in the thoughts and observing, closely monitoring that Divine Lord. And for this sincerity and other things, there are 3 things indispensable to begin with. Really, to open ourselves. What is again indispensable to begin with is, number 1, absolute sincerity in the whole being and all its activities. Sincerity ante exclusive self-opening to the Divine's force and that consciousness. Number 2 is complete self-surrender without any reservation. Not even one part of our being which should reserve for ourselves. The entire being has to be offered at the lotus feet of the one of the talks I was just hearing of Aurobindo. He says very interestingly, there is only one asana really which helps to connect ourselves is only, he says, Pada Shirsha asana, he says. We never heard about it. Pada Shirsha asana, though it is not there in Patanjali Yoga or in Hatha Yoga, Pada Shirsha asana is this. Shirsha. Shirs means our head. Bowing down our head at the lotus feet of the Divine Mother. That is Pada Shirsha asana. That really a complete surrender. It helps to get ourselves connected to the Mother. Like Champadda, we know that only the true person, that we know that absolute and complete surrender is Sri Aurobindo's complete and absolute surrender to the Divine Mother, and Divine Mother's complete and absolute surrender to the Sri Aurobindo. Likewise, in one of our talks also we did mention about this, that while Sri Aurobindo was going back to his room, just when Champaklal was just bowing down his feet at the lotus feet of the Lord Sri Aurobindo while he was going to the room, Sri Aurobindo didn't move even, and for about 1 hour, when Champakda was just bowing down at the lotus feet of the Sri Aurobindo did not move absolutely for 1 hour. The moment he lifted his head, then Sri Aurobindo left from that place to his room. That means because Sri Aurobindo has observed that Champakda is the only one person who has surrendered all the parts of his being at the lotus feet of Lord Sri Aurobindo. That's why Sri Aurobindo just stayed there. For about 1 year. For about 1 hour. Sri Aurobindo just stood there. As long he was just bowing down his head at the feet of Lord Sri Aurobindo. Because Sri Aurobindo, just now I said that without reserving anything in his part of your being, a complete consecration at the feet of the Lord Sri Aurobindo. So that kind of a surrender is very much required to open to the Mother's consciousness. And third one is patient work on oneself, and at the same time a steady conquering of perfect unshakable peace and equanimity. That means in the process, if we get anything, we should accept it as a grace of the Lord only. Because God knows, because just now the example of Aurobindo is that if 2 lakhs had been given to him, the 2 lakhs would have done the Mother's work. There would not have been any kind of a offering service by that Aurobindo with that 1 rupee, because he took it as a challenge. And Mother sent that her force along with that 1 rupee, which ultimately completed the work for that gold coin. Likewise, so in the process, whatever it comes up, we should accept everything, sukha dukkha, both with equal delight. With that kind of an equanimity of mind should be there. I just repeat, these three things are indispensable. Number one, absolute sincerity in the whole being and all its activities. Number two, complete self-surrender without any reservation. Number three, patient work on oneself and at the same time a steady conquering of perfect unshakable peace and equanimity. These are the three things. And one more example, I'll just give it to you. All of us know, some of you know, or all of us know, Kusumbe, who used to run Park Guest House. I think maybe a couple of years or 1 year back, she left her body. Kusumbe, the mother gave in charge of that Park Guest House. And whoever has visited, I think some of you might have stayed in that Park Guest House also. Kusumbe was the mother gave in charge of that guest house. The ashramites, whoever comes there, or sadhaks, whoever comes there, they stay there. In fact, mother also has visited that Park Guest House. అది ఎక్కడ ఉంటుందంటే ఆ బీచ్ ఎండ్లో చివరిలో అక్కడ దట్ గెస్ట్ హౌస్ ఇస్ దేర్. ఇట్స్ జస్ట్ ఆన్ ది సీ షోర్. And the tsunami came, all of us know that the tsunami came to that part of Pondicherry. Then all those who were companions who were with this Kusumben were in fact have told her, Kusumben, this is not a very safe place. This is tsunami is going to hit this place because we are very close to that seashore. This Park Guest House is very close to the seashore. Please let us move from this place to keep ourselves in a safe condition. He was completely hesitant to move out from that place because he was not at all having any kind of a fear that the tsunami will affect her. She was only saying, the Kusumben was only saying that because the Divine Mother has visited this place, the Divine Mother has given in charge of this place to me. If I move out from this place in this situation, it amounts to betraying her, the trust. I am betraying the trust the Divine Mother has put in me. So therefore I don't want to move out from this Park Guest House. I want to remain here only. She did not, even in tsunami condition also, Kusumben did not move out from that Park Guest House with so much of absolute trust and confidence and faith in the Lord that nothing is going to happen. Kusumben just stayed there. Not even an inch of water has just come in there and created any problem. So such kind of an absolute trust in the divine grace and force has to be developed. It's not even because the child of mine should never fear. Mother says that the child of mine should never fear. We should face it with so much of courage, because Swami Vivekananda also says that the courage is life, the fear is death. So such kind of a trust, really Kusumben, when I was hearing that, really completely overwhelmed with the way she was saying that the divine trust, grace doesn't do anything. Then our human consciousness has windows that open on the infinite, but generally men keep these windows carefully shut. They have to be opened wide and allow the infinite freely to enter into us and transform us. As long as we are completely shut in ourselves, preoccupied with our own things, preoccupied with our own preferences, our own satisfaction of our own desires. Like the rain is continuously, incessantly raining, and if the pot is completely is down, that pot will not contain that rain water. If it is really upwards and if it is open towards the rain water, it will contain. Therefore, we should not be preoccupied with many other things which are not at all necessary or required for elevation of consciousness. Then the two conditions are necessary for opening the windows. Number one, ardent aspiration. Number two, progressive dissolution of the ego. Because as long the one is completely is in the realm of this ego, it acts as a wheel for progress or in the expansion of the consciousness. For formation of a particular individuality up to that stage, the ego helps, because ego is the bar, ego is the helper. For formation of one's own individuality, that ego helps. But once the individuality is formed, the total consecration, the total surrender of the entire being should be at the feet of the Lord. Then Sri Aurobindo says, then your rapidity of progress depends upon your keeping yourself open to Mother. Your rapidity of progress depends upon your keeping yourself open to Mother's force and reject calmly, quietly and steadily all suggestions and invasions of other forces. Especially nervous excitement of vital has to be rejected. Like Indriyanam hicharatam yenmanonu vidhiyate tadasya harati pragnam vayurnavami vambasyan manakoktundi Bhagavad Gita, which means as a strong window sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which the mind focuses can carry away or man's intelligence. So andukane, like a tortoise withdraws all its limbs into its own shell when it senses danger. So therefore శబ్ద స్పర్శ రూప రస గంధ మనకు ఉన్నాయి 5 శబ్ద స్పర్శ రూప రస గంధ. ఈ సెన్సెస్ అన్నీ కూడా మనం ఏంటంటే ఎప్పుడు ఆల్వేస్ టు బి ఎంగేజ్డ్ ఇన్ ద సర్వీస్ ఆఫ్ ద లార్డ్. A purification is required. That's not indicated that a platform body should be made as a platform with that kind of a purity so that the grace of the Lord will descend into it. We know that Chanchalam hi Ramakrishna, Sri Krishna says to Arjuna, because this manas is like a monkey, so it always goes here and there, many thoughts here and there. So all those energies have to be engaged and directed and focuses towards the Lord. We know that this is for bhakti. When we discuss about this bhakti, two persons always come to my mind, probably to some of you also. Number one, the Meera, always constantly her thoughts, activities, everything are engaged in adoration of Lord Sri Krishna. Number two is Lord Hanuman, who always constantly takes the name of Lord. So when while the bridge to that Lanka was being undertaken by all the monkeys, then at that point of time, two little monkeys in front of this Lord Hanuman, they were just talking to each other and they were just fighting. Who can jump a very long distance? Either you or me. They were just fighting. And this Lord Hanuman and funnily watches these two little monkeys. The sadhu nearby asks this Lord Hanuman, why don't you participate and prove yourself? Because if Lord Hanuman participate, obviously the two little monkeys are they completely pale into insignificance. Why don't you participate? Then this is the Lord Hanuman's reply. I will not spare even an ounce of energy in an activity which is not in the service of the Lord Ram. ఎందుకంటే అప్పుడు దానిలో ఈగో సాటిస్ఫాక్షన్, దానిలో ఉన్న ఫైటింగ్ అవన్నీ ప్రూవ్ చేయడంలో ఐ నీడ్ నాట్ ప్రూవ్ మై సెల్ఫ్. అండ్ ఇన్ దట్ ది అడోరేషన్ ఆఫ్ మై రామ్ ఆర్ చాంటింగ్ ఆఫ్ మై లార్డ్ రామ్ ఈజ్ నాట్ దేర్ ఇన్ దట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ అన్ యాక్టివిటీ. సో దేర్ ఫోర్ ఐ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు స్పెండ్ ఈవెన్ అన్ ounce of energy in such kind of a futile exercise. So such kind of a bhakti and all those energies have to be focused to the Divine Mother. And we know that Uddhava also says that Bhakti Gopikas, Bhakti, we all of us know that he goes out and to teach pranayam to all these Gopikas. And because we know that restraining the gati of prana through mechanical method is pranayama. Puraka, Rechaka, Kumbhaka, Manam, retention of breath, pranayama. And he goes out to teach how to do pranayam. And then the Gopikas reply to him, you want us to do pranayama, but how do you expect that you really expect that our prana is with us to do this pranayama? Our prana we have given it to Lord Krishna. So question of, again, when the prana itself is not there, the question of doing pranayama doesn't arise. When he realizes that the Gopikas are very ardent bhaktas, so the question of I'm teaching this kind of a pranayama, because their prana it's completely is given to Lord Krishna. So everything has to be an offering. Brahmarpanam, beautiful sloka says that Brahmarpanam, while eating, it is the Lord who is eating through us. It is the Divine who is eating through us. And in this regard, this question was also put to Aurobindo. Can you share some of the advice that the mother gave to you for your personal sadhana? I think when Aurobindo had a conversation with the Divine Mother in 1937, and now he says like this. One day I asked the mother, I have been doing the yoga for many years, but I am not absolutely certain how to do the yoga of Sri Aurobindo. I read all the books and try to do the yoga, but I am not certain how far I have progressed. I asked the mother to help me. Mother says, you are doing it all wrong. Mother saying to Aurobindo, who has been reading all the books and doing so much of service for the Lord, and he was asked, when he asked her a question saying that how to do yoga, and so far I am not certain how far I have progressed. And then when he sought for the mother says, you are doing it all wrong, she said. But what shall I do? She replied, I will do the yoga for you. I was thrilled. What do I have to do? I said, give yourself over to me and I will do it for you. I asked, how do I surrender? Mother was saying to Aurobindo, give yourself completely to me, that is enough. You don't take any kind of a painstaking efforts. But give yourself, that's a very difficult task. It's not a simple, though it appears to be very simple, give oneself, yourself at the lotus feet, but it's not a simple task. Unless one is completely an embodiment of a love and a completely purified being, one is not a complete qualified person to give oneself. The mother says, what shall I do? She replied, I will do the yoga for you. I was thrilled. What do I have to do? Mother said, give yourself over to me and I will do it for you. I asked, how do I surrender? She said to me, do you sincerely want to? I answered, yes. Certainly, mother. Then mother asked, when you get up in the morning, what is the first thing you do? I brush my teeth, and as a matter of course, I am thinking of all kinds of things and not at all consciously. I'm sorry, I'll just go back. I missed one line. Mother says, when you get up, mother asks him, when you get up in the morning, what is the first thing you do? And Aurobindo says, I brush my teeth and as a matter of course, I am thinking of all kinds of things and not at all consciously. I replied. Mother said, try and think of me while you are brushing your teeth. When you eat, that is the time you must be very conscious of me. You must feel that I am eating through you. Like just now I said, Brahmarpanam. And you just eat it as an offering to me. And you just think that I am eating through you. Think of me while you are brushing your teeth. Talk to me keeping fully conscious while you wash your face and brush your teeth. When you eat, that is the time you must be very conscious of me. Feel that I am eating with you and talk to me and enjoy your food. Let all the parts of your being remain conscious of me. Eat every mouthful with me and you will find that things taste so much better when you enjoy the food with me. When you go to sleep, that is the time when you should be very conscious of me. Let me put you to sleep. Then the whole night you will have a conscious sleep. When you awaken and begin your day, you will then begin it in a more conscious way. Since that conversation, I have sincerely tried to make this effort. It may not always be complete and whole, but I make the effort to remain fully conscious of the mother's presence in all my actions and activities. That's how a wonderful experience, a conversation really which help all of us also to get ourselves with that mother's force, that the mother is always with us, always pray for her force, pray for her guidance, feel her always image, feel all her divine presence deep within the heart. And the mother always keeps on sending her always positive energy, will help us to expand our consciousness, widen our consciousness, heighten our consciousness. And Sri Aurobindo says, the contact with the mother's consciousness and force will lead to all necessary realizations and the fulfillment of all true aspirations. All can be done if the God touch is there. Goppa Mahavakyam, Savitrilo. Nothing is impossible. So therefore, whatever the necessary realizations, Sri Aurobindo says that this contact with the mother's consciousness will lead to all necessary realizations. Ekkado Himalayalu, ekkado velli emi tapasyam emana cheyanavasaram leddu by renouncing all this life. Get yourself, have true relation with the Divine Mother. Always keep yourself open to the mother's force. That will lead to all necessary realizations and the fulfillment of all true aspirations. If you cannot advance in your sadhana, it is because you are divided and do not give yourself without reserve. So therefore we have to blame ourselves that our surrender is not complete. Introspection, Atma Parishilana, time to time. I am not advancing in the path because there is some mistake in me. I have not completely surrendered. One part of being is completely dragged towards some unnecessary frivolous things. I should shun that and purify myself so that I can offer my entire being and consecrate my entire being like Pada Shirshasana. Just now I said, bowing down our head at the lotus feet of the Divine Mother. I'll just share one experience because how the disciples, the senior sadhaks really were open themselves to the mother's force and consciousness. Though it's already 6:31, I'll just complete it under 2-3 minutes. I cannot resist my temptation to read this. This book is from Memorable Moments with the Mother. Yes, this is Lalita the experience actually with the mother. A couple of months after this, the mother called me and asked if I knew manicuring. I said yes, mother, because I knew it only too well. Then you will come on Friday and manicure my nails, she said. Thus every Friday became a heavenly day for me, whose fragrant memory it is impossible to forget. At that time there was only one story atop mother's building and everything took place either on the ground floor or the first floor. The second story came much later. At the end of the meditation hall, there is a small room which was then used by the mother and Sri Aurobindo for giving darshan. Against the wall of this room was a small couch with some cushions. Mother used to sit on this couch with her legs stretched out in front of her, and I used to sit quite close to her on the carpet. She would give me one of her hands as well as the manicuring articles. Then closing her eyes, she would gradually go into a deep trance. After finishing the nails of this hand, I would sit very still, holding her hand till she came out of trance. Then with a sweet smile, she would give me her other hand. And while I was doing it, she would recount to me her vision or experience if it had anything to do with me. I learned a great deal from her in this way, even about my past lives when I had been with her. If I had anything to ask or to say to her, this was my chance to do so. Still, I rarely bothered her with questions. When I told her that I did not seem to know much about yoga or real sadhana, she only smiled and assured me that it was she who was doing the sadhana, and so I was not to worry about it. Same like Aurobindo. Mother was saying she only, when she said, when I told her that I did not seem to know much about yoga or real sadhana, the mother simply smiled and assured me that it was the mother, she was doing the sadhana, and so I was not to worry about it. Time was of no consequence in those golden days, and just as she had written in her prayers and meditations, and the hours pass away like dreams unlived. After the manicure was over and I had made my pranam to her, she would lead me to the door of the meditation hall, holding me so close to her at times, with her hand round my waist and mine round hers. We were just two very intimate friends, or rather she was Radha and I was her companion, Lalita. As Sri Aurobindo had written when he so graciously changed my name. Then mother would open the door and let me out with a sweet au revoir or a kiss on my forehead. How could I forget these moments? I would go home in a trance of ecstasy and live in their memory till the next Friday came along. People wondered why I never spoke to anybody, never even cared to look at or want to know anybody. My sweet and dearest mother was everything to me, and I had no need of anything else. Such was the contact, opening to the mother's love, force. So we should also have that kind of a frame of mind, thoughts, feelings, activities, everything in alignment with the consciousness by opening ourselves to her force, because Tvameva Matacha, if we have that kind of a thing deep in our heart, Tvameva Matacha Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam Mamadeva Deva. Tvameva Mata, you are my mother. Tvameva Pita, you are my father. Tvameva bandhuscha sakatvameva. You are my relative. Sakha. You are my friend. Tvameva vidya. You are the knowledge. You are the education. You are everything to me. Dravidam tavena. Dravinam. That means you are the wealth. Everything. Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. You are everything to me. So therefore, with that kind of a frame of mind, we should ourselves having complete, absolute trust in the Divine's grace. Let us open always our all energies, all our daily activities to her force, her consciousness, her love, so that she will lead us to a sunlit path. We will just close our eyes for a couple of minutes in silence. Deep within our heart, we feel the divine presence of the Divine Mother. And also Lord Sri Aurobindo, who has been enlightening, protecting and guiding. And pray for their presence in all our movements, in each breath, in breath and out breath. Om Sri Aurobindo Meera. Open my mind, open my body, open my heart to your love, your light and your power. In all things may I see the Divine.